I'm Bethany Codd. I'm going to be talking to you today about holistic teen librarianship. This is just the idea of how can we meet the needs for all the diverse teens that come through our doors, even the needs that maybe they don't know how to articulate. We're going to hopefully be talking about giving ideas for the tools they need to prevent and survive crisis in their life, and how can librarians promote and encourage resiliency in their patrons. This is an interesting visual way of looking at what teens are going through, the upheaval that's inherent in the teen years. And this graph here shows the suicide rate. There's a sharp increase there. Mental health concerns, it's the sharpest increase. A lot of them are through the teen years. And this is drug and substance abuse. A lot of it has its roots in the teen years. And this has to do with a lot of the pressures that's in the teen years. They're a very exciting time in life, so many possibilities and potentials, and there's all the world before you. But that can be a lot of pressure too. And for teens that might not having the coping skills, it can be too much. So how can we help teens through this time? How can we help them navigate through the 5 I's and making an individual of themselves? We can give them information. That's what we have that we can give them. I love thinking about these social workers in the library in conjunction with teens. Since 2009, a lot of the libraries have been adding social workers because it's a natural fit. The homeless love libraries because they're a safe, warm place to spend the day, and they have entertainment and the internet. And librarians are thinking, how can we meet these people that are a portion of our patrons? How can we meet them where they're at with what they need? And social workers are just giving people the information they need when they need it, and that's what we're doing as librarians as well. So I love thinking about that with the teens. We would love to have someone on staff who could sit down with a teen that seems really distressed and talk to them. Maybe teens that we know are homeless, teens that are going through difficult situations at home, maybe substance abuse with their parents. We wish we had that, but we don't. And we come from libraries, we might not even have all the resources we wish we could give teens. So what can we do when we don't have everything we want to do? What can we do for them? I love this quote from Denise Augusto, the head of Drexel University's Library and Information Science program, talking about teen librarianship last fall. She said that she believes there's going to be an increasing focus on what the library does over what the library has. So even though we don't have everything we wish we had, there's still a lot that we can do as librarians. Giving teens information is so important. Information can empower them and help them make positive choices. And when we're just giving them information, sometimes their eyes can glaze over and it can be kind of boring because, let's face it, information in isolation can be boring. But when they're going through a crisis, or when someone they know is going through a crisis, it suddenly becomes vital to them. And if we just keep letting them know that the resources are there, maybe they will remember that in a time of need and be able to take advantage of that. We can do promotions for Awareness Month. Almost every single month of the year has an awareness of something. September is Suicide Prevention Month. LGBT History Month is in October, Homeless Youth is in January. We can draw attention to these situations that teens can be in a very authentic context. It can be as old school as putting posters in the hallways, putting pamphlets in the young adult areas, just compiling a list of resources for these teens to take advantage of on our blogs, on our social media, however we're outreaching to teens. Make that list available to them and make sure that they have easy access to it. Just of maybe the symptoms of these problems, maybe community resources that can help them if they feel the need to have that help. We can do book displays of quality young adult fiction dealing with these topics. This isn't a straight informational need, but it gives the teens the idea that they're not the only people who have ever gone through this situation, and it helps them know that other people have survived it as well. Ensure access to a teen health and wellness database. This is an important one because teens are going through a lot, physical changes and waning and surging hormones, and they might not be comfortable going to the doctor and saying, I wonder if I have an STD. This just gives them a way of looking at that in a safe and neutral environment. So it's a good idea. For those of us in a school environment, we can do informational class push-ins. If the history teacher is doing a unit on refugees or immigrants, we can let them know what community resources there are dealing with that topic. During an ELA unit on Lori House Anderson Speak, we could do sexual assault or rape survival resources in the community. We can partner with community health resources, again, empowering them with health information. We can partner with community businesses, have the businesses come in and tell them what they're looking for in prospective employees. We can create teen job listings, teen job fairs. We can host resume writing clinics. Again, just a way of letting teens know that we're wanting them to be successful and that we're giving them as much information as we can. Once we've given them as much information as we can, are we done everything that we can do? No. Dr. Jamie Jones did an amazing amount of research on how librarians can promote resiliency in their patrons. And if you're interested in this, I would definitely suggest checking out her papers. She suggests that the most important thing about resiliency is having a mentor, and librarians are poised to be that. We're not interacting with them definitely on a daily basis like maybe they are with some of their other teachers, and we can be a trusted adult in their life, and that's one of the biggest factors in resiliency is having a trusted adult. And from disadvantaged backgrounds, they might not have that at home, so be that adult for them. Get to know your teens, listen to them, respect them, involve them in programming, ask them what they would like to see and what they'd like to do, and that encourages them to be invested in the program, and they'll come and they'll bring their friends as well. So it's a win-win for both of you. I love the quote about that from Amy Michelle from Oregon, that it gives the teens a chance to use their leadership skills as well. Create programs that draw teens to the library. We can't help them if we're not coming in contact with them. One of the librarians also did a program with incarcerated youth, bringing books to them, going beyond the borders of the library. I love that thought of just thinking outside the box. Promote reading. As old school as it is, reading is still tied to positive life outcomes, and it's still important. Find books that excite them, encourage them to experiment with topics, and find something that interests them and encourages them to read. I love thinking about this at Teens at Risk. I love this quote from Adrina Amaro from one of the from the NARI paper that I have listed on my resources. All teens are at risk. They're at risk of falling prey to ignorance, hatred, violence, and all the other negative influences that surround them. They're at risk of failing to take advantage of the opportunities and resources available to them. Everything we do here in the Teen Lounge serves at-risk youth. So keep taking care of these teens. We don't know when they walk through our door, they could look like they're homeless and have a perfectly good home life, and maybe they look perfectly fine and they're falling apart inside. Take care of every teen, care about them, and do what you can to help them. Thanks for watching.